Welcome, friends, to breakfast all day. I'm a Christy. That's Alonso. Come on, what do you want? Our next movie. This house of Gucci. Forget about it. What's the matter, you? Alonso will tell you about the myriad Italian accents that appear in this film.
Many of which are not nearly as good as Christie's was just now. So this is a true crime saga about the legendary Gucci fashion house. Lady Gaga stars as Patrizia Reggiani, who is her dad owns a trucking company. It is implied it might have some mob ties. She meets Maurizio Gucci at a disco party, who's played by Adam Driver, and he's very shy and retiring, so she bulldozes her way into his life, makes him fall in love with her, wants to marry her. His father, Rodolfo, played by Jeremy Irons, senses that this lady is a gold digger and is like, you marry her, I will disown you. And Maurizio calls his bluff and marries her anyway. And then Rodolfo dies and he inherits everything. So, haha. The Rodolfo and his brother Aldo, played by Al Pacino, each own 50% of Gucci, which becomes very important as the sort of internal power struggles take place. Aldo's son Paolo is played by Jared Leto in a fat suit, giving the craziest ass performance. It is either great or terrible or both. I'm still not sure. And Patrizia is trying more and more to sort of like claw her way into having a say on things at the fashion house, and is being rebuffed. And then Maurizio moves out so he can go live with his mistress. And so Patrizia, as one does, turns to her psychic advisor, played by Salma Hayek, to find some hitmen to kill her husband. And then things get really complicated.
Keep forgetting that Salma Hayek is in this. There are so many big personalities and so many big performances going on here that, like, Salma Hayek doing a big performance. I keep forgetting about her. So when Lady Gaga is in this movie, it can be a lot of fun. And she gets it. Like, she gets what she's doing here. She takes it seriously as an acting exercise, but she also gets like the over the top naked ambition of it all and has fun playing with that. And, you know, what we saw in A Star Is Born is not a fluke. Like, she's an actress. She's a serious actress, and she's really good. She stayed in character the entire time.
Well, I mean, she commits, certainly, although I know, like, when I think the dialogue coach on the film said, I think she sounds Russian, and she's not wrong also.
But I saw someone posted like a side-by-side of her, a YouTube clip of her doing Patrizia and then Patrizia herself, and it's pretty close.
Okay.
So
I'm no expert here.
No, neither am I, but I think she's pretty good in this. And then when she is gone, it's a movie about a bunch of guys in expensive suits sitting around conference tables talking about documents. And that is very boring.
If this movie weren't so dull, I think it would be a camp classic, because it's so ridiculous so often.
It's in there somewhere, right? Like it's begging to get out.
I will probably never say this sentence again, but this is a movie that I think would have been better directed by Lee Daniels than Ridley Scott, because I think he would have because this movie is teetering on the edge of being one of those like soapy 80s miniseries like Lace or Scruples, about rich people and their lusts and their murders, and Lady Gaga comes closest to anybody who's sort of like embracing that nature of it, and she's giving it a lot but not enough. I think Joan Collins basically, and then you've got like all five of these lead characters feel like they're in their own movie and performance wise, because like Adam Driver is either super underplaying it or just seems like super underplaying next to the other four people who are like all going bananas. Jeremy Irons, like, what are you even doing, accent wise? Even Al Pacino, who is Italian, like is sounding really caricaturish. And then again, Jared Leto, I don't even know what to say about the Jared Leto performance, but I was never bored watching it, I'll say that.
He goes full Super Mario.
He's
really over the top. He wants to design clothing. Why is it so wrong?
Why? I don't know. I spent a lot of this movie just kind of wishing I had a watch on, because I just felt like it was dragging by, and then there would just be these sporadic moments of like, what is even happening here? And I think if they had leaned into the crazy, that would have at least been more entertaining, because for a script that takes wild liberties with the actual historical events, like Patrizia and Maurizio have 2 children, not one. They got married in 1972, and the movie has the meeting in 1978.
Yeah.
So that we can get some Donna Summer in there. I'm like, okay, fine. I mean, I'm not married to, historical accuracy necessarily, but like, then that should be your conduit to really jazzing this thing up. And it is not jazzed.
Once you open up that door, right? Once those floodgates open, let it all come flooding out.
Have dramatic license and use that dramatic license to make this more exciting. But you're right. There's so much in this movie that's about people sitting at conference tables and like these sort of corporate machinations that aren't portrayed all that interestingly. And once Jack Houston walks on screen, like his father before him, then he's the bad guy.
And then Tom Ford comes in, and there's like a little burst of hope, like, oh, this is going to get fun. Like he's going to gay it up, and it's going to be exciting now. And they're going to breathe new life into this. But then even he has to sit at a conference table and talk about documents, right? Like there's so much hope when Tom Ford shows up, but no, it's not to
one
be.
Scene with Anna Wintour, you're thinking like, okay, this could go. Oh no, all right, we're back to the conference room.
Yeah. Also, I never really got the sense, and I guess it's not really a movie about fashion so much as it is about like ambition and family machinations and all that. But I don't know that you walk away with a sense of what Gucci is and what it means stylistically compared to other big Italian design houses.
Yeah, there's a lot of telling and not showing. Like they talk about like the boutiques and the purses, and like you actually see more Gucci counterfeit knockoffs in this movie than you do actual Gucci products. Like there's one scene where Patrizia is they're in New York, and she goes under a bridge somewhere and buys all these like handbags and shoes, and it's like, look at what people are doing with our brand name, and they're always kind of like, it's all good publicity, I guess. Like it doesn't, nothing ever goes anywhere in this movie, which I found really kind of frustrating. And you could have made it super fashiony, or you could have made it super intriguey, but that if you're going to make it a corporate thing, then it has to be more exciting than the people on the conference tables, which that's kind of what we get. That I will say, whoever the costume designer does a good job of always making Patrizia dress just a little wrong. Like there's always something about what she's wearing that's like a little too gaudy, or a little too flashy, or a little too tight, or the hemline's too high, and it's subtle. Like they don't paint her like this brash monster, but next to the other Gucci's, who themselves are not like old money by any respects. They talk about granddad and the who was a shepherd or whatever. But they know how to dress the part. They know how to be all camel hair aristocrat, and she's always just a touch too vulgar, and so that's a nice little sort of visual clue to sort of let you see that this woman is being treated like an interloper in this family.
And that becomes very clear once they go skiing, once they go to the winter cabin in San Moritz, and everyone's in like their tasteful neutrals, and she's got like head to toe red on and like too much makeup to go skiing. The costume designer is Janty Yates, who is Ridley Scott's longtime costume designer. She won an Academy Award for Gladiator, also did The Martian, The Last Duel. So All the Money in the World. So this is someone who has worked with him for a very, very long time.
We talked about how good the needle drops were in Licorice Pizza. In this movie, they are both on the nose and anachronistic, which is like, it's like, not only did you not pick a song that's appropriate for the period, but you also picked like the most obvious one. They do that like 2 or 3 times. Like,
yeah. So there's a lot of Donna Summer. And then, oh God, there's an 80s song that is totally wrong.
Faith, like, when they play Faith.
Right, they play Faith, which is 1987.
At their wedding,
that bothered
which is like 1979 or 1980. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it bugged me because, first of all, totally wrong period. But then also, like, to play Faith over a wedding, it's like, we get it, movie. Come on, he's marrying somebody who's not trustworthy.
But like the organ comes in, right? At the back of the church, the organ at the beginning of Faith comes in. I'm like, that sounds like the beginning of Faith. Did George Michael take like a song that was actually like an organ song and put it on the front of Faith? But then it becomes dan 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 dan. I'm like, no, really? We're gonna do that now? So yeah, and this is a conversation, of course, that you and I always enjoy having about the wrong song choices.
Yes. So I just was not into this at all, and I think that Ridley Scott is maybe too tasteful to make this movie. That it should just be vulgar, because it would at least have been more interesting. Because neither as a true crime nor as a sort of peek behind the inner workings of a huge fashion conglomerate does it have anything interesting to say, I think.
Thank you for reminding me of the existence of lace. Which one of you bitches is my mother?
That's right.
Yes, I used to read Sidney Sheldon novels. I like good trash.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Celebrity. I don't know if you ever saw that miniseries. That was a doozy.
This could, like, the Thornbirds. This could have been good trash, but no.
Yes.
All right, so I'm saying 4.2, and that's mostly for Lady Gaga's performance and for some of the clothes.
Yeah, I said 3. I think she's good enough in this that I think, okay, yes, you really are an actress, and I do want to see you in other stuff. But I didn't, since I didn't love the material, it was hard for me to love what she was doing with it. So
someone points out in the goofs on IMDb, in a Christmas scene set in the mid-90s, a character gives a gift card as a gift. Gift cards were first released around this time, but didn't gain mainstream popularity until several years later. So it makes no sense that she would get a gift card. It's meant to be a diss.
They might have been, the Gucci's could have been cutting edge in that department. Who knows?
It's a Gucci gift card. There's an interlocking G's. All right. So our number 3.6 for House of Gucci, which I'm guessing is only available in theaters.
Only in theaters, yes. And I will be curious to see how long they maintain the idea that it is an Oscar possibility, because right now, well, if you go to a lot of pages for, different publications or film related things, you will see a lot of like House of Gucci for your consideration in all categories. And I want to see if we're still saying that in 2 or 3 weeks, or if they're like, never mind. I don't know.
Maybe Lady Gaga.
Maybe. Yeah, it's certainly possible. All right. Well, listen, thanks everybody for watching. You're very chic to have done so. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And yes, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. Hawkeye has launched, so we're recapping that. Also talking about The Great on Hulu and our monthly off the menu selection as chosen by our subscribers. We are reviewing Jon Favreau's Chef. So all that and much more. Patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.